Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about luxury vehicles that you should avoid in 2026. So my last video, I gave you a list of vehicles to avoid. Well, I did forget to add some luxury vehicles. Luxury vehicles are those big brands that when you get your raise or you start making a certain level of income, you've always aspired to be seen driving around in a BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, those brands of vehicles. A lot of them are on my I don't recommend list. There's three that I do recommend if you really want to go the luxury vehicle route. And then one honorable mention that is in the sports car or performance car segment. So we'll start off with BMW. I do not recommend BMW. Here's why. BMWs, while fantastic looking cars, luxurious, all the bells and whistles, the ultimate driving machine as they're labeled, they're made up of a lot of cheap plastic components. And the way they're engineered and the way they're designed, you could have one cheap 50-cent gasket cost $1,500 or more to repair because of all the components that you have to remove to be able to fix that one rubber seal or one rubber gasket. And also the plastics over time get very brittle. You got to be very careful with them. They're just too complex for the average person. Now it's nice that you're able to afford one, reach the level to be able to go out and buy one. And if you notice, the depreciation on those make them very tempting because you start looking at them going, wow, I can buy a new Camry for this money, or I can go buy this 2-year-old BMW that normally originally was $60,000-$70,000, and now I can get it for $30,000. Well, you're going to spend a whole lot more on repairs on this, and I know there's several YouTubers that also let you know this, but I'm just confirming it as well. Those are they're financial mistakes. Instead of being a financial reward to yourself, you're causing yourself more headache than good. That being said, I also do not recommend Mercedes. And I'll talk about them both in this. The main reason for that is these vehicles are more for the person who, once you become a millionaire or a successful business owner, those are what you ideally want to buy on a lease. Now, I don't recommend leases as the optimal buying method, but I do recommend leasing when you get to that level to where you have plenty of income and you've been able to sustain this level of income for a while, and you're okay spending $600, $700, $800 a month. You've got the extra liquid capital to that $600, $700, $800 a month is nothing to you. Then lease one at that point, because you can lease, and so many of them, Mercedes and BMW, offer maintenance-free leases to where your maintenance is not an expense. You just take it to the dealer, they service it, and it's included in your lease payment. And then after 2 to 3 years, your lease is up, trade it in, get another one. If you have that much cash flow to be able to do that, then that's the way to go there. But don't buy it, because you're buying something. You're buying those off lease usually, where the warranty period is expired, and you're about to get into all the heavy maintenance. And if you don't know how to do this kind of work yourself, it's very expensive. So I do not recommend BMW or Mercedes for that reason. What I do recommend is Lexus and Acura. because they're essentially higher end Hondas and Toyotas. And I would personally recommend just buying a fully loaded Toyota, or fully loaded Honda, because at that point, the difference in name, you're essentially getting the same car. You're just paying a little extra for the name. And those are luxury vehicles that I wouldn't hesitate to buy on the used market, even out of warranty, because the maintenance and repairs are going to be so much cheaper on a Lexus and Acura, because you're basically paying Honda and Toyota maintenance costs because they essentially share the same parts for the most part. Now there are going to be a couple of models that does have a different engine, like the Lexus IS 250 compared to the Lexus GS 300. The GS 300 is basically the 6-cylinder. You would call it the Avalon or high-end Camry. Those are the Camrys that they put the 6-cylinder in. It shares the same 3.5 V6 with the Camry and the Avalon. So you're going to have the same kind of maintenance repair on that engine as you would the Avalon or Camry. But the IS 250 used a 2.5 liter V6 that was only in that car. A reliable engine, but it's only in that car. You're not going to find a Toyota model that shares that 2.5 V6 engine. So you do have a one-off there, but it is a reliable engine. So back to the vehicles not to own. I don't recommend Maserati. Maserati is one of those that, unlike BMW and Mercedes, there's not as many of them on the road, so the parts and the maintenance and labor is going to be more expensive, because you're not going to find many shops that have the capability and the knowledge to work on those. So you're going to pay a premium for the ones that do, because it's going to be few and far between. And because there's less Maseratis on the road, while you do want that you do like that exclusivity, then it leads to more costly maintenance and repairs, because sourcing parts for those will be more complicated. Finally, one that I do recommend that is on the premium luxury performance based is Porsche. I do recommend Porsche because they are fairly reliable. If you get a 718 Cayman, Boxster, or even a 911, you're going to have some reliability. But now when it does break, or when it does need some maintenance, get the checkbook out, because it's going to be a little costly, but the reliability is there. For it being a German car, they did put a lot of effort into the reliability of the Porsche. So I do recommend Porsche. Now, I don't recommend some Porsches, not all Porsches. I'm just saying the popular, like 718 Cayman, the Boxster, and the 911 for sure. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this made sense, and God bless, and see you on the next one.